Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Coach Matt over here, Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. First things first, before we get started today, we always want to remind you that our 3-day overnight throwing camp at Allegheny College in Western PA is happening. I put out a newsletter message today to everyone who signed up for our free newsletter and already had another 5 people sign up. This thing is going to sell out, so make sure if you're interested in going, you need to click the link below. Secondly, a lot of you have been asking for t-shirts, and t-shirts are a big pain in the you-know-what because of inventory and blah, blah, blah. So, shipping and going to the post office and lost packages tracking, don't even get me started. But we were able to find a company where we're going to have some of our t-shirts on their website, linked right to our website, the primalatc.com website, and you guys will be able to go on there and order t-shirts. I think it might just be in North America, Canada, US, Mexico, etc. I don't know about overseas, Asia, Europe, India. I'm not sure. So for the people that visit this channel from over there, I'm going to try to get something worked out for you. But stay tuned. Stop bugging me. You're going to get a t-shirt. I know you like it. It's going to be like this. Primal, logo on the back. So we are dealing with another of these end-of-the-year questions. The other day we were talking about all of the end of the year stuff, how to prepare for a big meet and all that. Today, I received, it's funny, a lot of questions this week regarding peaking for the state championships and the regional championships and nationals and things like that. People want to know, how do I peak? So I got an email Monday saying, how do I peak for my meet on Saturday? Then I get an email today's Wednesday, saying, how do I peak for my meet on Saturday? Well, first things first. Peaking is something that to do properly takes a very long period of time. So if you haven't been thinking about peaking for Saturday since the very first day of practice back in February or March or whenever you started, then more than likely you're not going to be able to peak on Saturday. Hate to break the news, that's just the way it works. If you have been planning, if you've been on a structured schedule of training here in the weight room, if you have been looking forward to that meet, if Saturday, if the state championships or whatever it might be is your goal meet, then about 3 to 4 weeks ago, you should have started to taper down to get ready to peak. So even though it's a little bit too late for most people, what I wanted to do, because I want to answer these questions so that you know now how to do it properly, we want to talk about how to peak. Now, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's books and literature, 200, 300-page books, plenty of stuff online and videos that are going to teach you how to peak. But generally speaking, when you peak properly, about 4 weeks out from your championship meet, about 4 weeks out from your goal meet, considering that you've been training and working hard and doing whatnot for the entire season now, what you want to do is start to taper down. Now, what do we mean by taper down? Well, that means you want to start to back off a little bit on a certain part of your training. So, for example, let me give you kind of the wrong way. What a lot of people do is they will lift really, really heavy, lift really, really heavy, lift really, really heavy, lift really, really heavy, and then the week before the meet, they're just like, all right, I'm just not going to lift. Maybe your energy will be kind of high. Maybe you'll feel rested, but that's not how you peak properly. A lot of people will try to peak and try to do it correctly, and what they end up doing is they cut back on a lot of stuff. So they'll say, well, this week I'm going to do less reps, less sets, less weight, and I'm going to be in the weight room for less amount of time. And then next week, I'm going to do even less amount of sets, even less reps, even less weight, and be in the weight room even least amount of time. And then next week, I'm going to do even less sets than that, even less reps than that, even less amount of weight, and be in the weight room even less amount of time. That's not it either, because when you start to taper that way, you back off on everything, and that's not necessarily how to taper or how to peak either. What you want to do is a gradual move, a gradual change that leads up to your championship meet, to your goal meet. So for example, without kind of giving away, what's the old saying? Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free, or whatever the heck it is? Why am I going to give away the milk for free? I'm not. What I'm going to do, we've got this in our in-season training, and we've talked about it a lot. But generally speaking, what you want to do to peak is take one aspect of your training. Maybe it's the amount of sets. Maybe it's the amount of reps. Maybe it's the amount of weight. Take one of those and start to minimize, lessen it every week. So for example, let me give you an idea of what we did this week. Our championship meet is Saturday. Our athletes were in the gym twice this week. So what we did was the same amount of weight and the same amount of sets, but we were only doing 4 reps of each weight. So 5 sets of 4 at a certain percentage of weight of their max. The week before, so last week, we did 5 sets of 6. So we did a little bit more 2 weeks ago. Same amount of weight. The week before that, we did 5 sets of 8. Same amount of weight. And then the week before that, we did 5 sets of 10. Same amount of weight. So when you look at it, we did 5 sets of 10, 5 sets of 8, 5 sets of 6, and then this week we're doing 5 sets of 4. So we've started to minimize. We've started to taper. Now this, of course, because this is our 13th week of training, the previous 9 weeks before that all built up to this. So again, take this with a grain of salt, because you don't know what we did the 9 weeks before this. But all of that 9 weeks led up to this tapering period, this peaking period, where we've only gone less. We've only minimized the amount of reps. The sets have stayed exactly the same. The weight has stayed exactly the same. The only thing, the amount of rest in between each exercise has stayed the same. The warm-up is the same. The amount of time that we're in the weight room is the same. Everything is the same except for the amount of reps that we do. That has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller throughout the course of 4 weeks, which is going to allow our energy to build up, which is going to allow us to be stronger, which is going to allow us to peak and be at the optimal part of our training. As strong, as explosive, as full of energy, or as my grandma would say, piss and vinegar, as you can possibly be going into the meet a few days from now. So, if today's Wednesday and you want to peak for Saturday and you haven't been planning for it, there's not a whole lot you can do. I would say stop lifting heavy, start to minimize the amount of throws you take at practice, get your confidence higher, get your kind of mental readiness in check, which we've talked about in previous videos, and start getting prepared for that meet that way. If you have been on a plan, go back and take a look and see what you've done. And if you still have a few weeks, if you're planning to peak for nationals, if you're one of our neighbors to the north up in Canada and your meets are starting up and you've got your provincial, for your province, I think is how they do it, up there in Canada, and that's coming up in 3 to 4 weeks, try to put some of these strategies into play. You'll learn, your body will feel better, you'll fully recuperate, you'll be full of energy, you'll be at your maximum explosiveness and strength right in time for the big meets. If right now you're just kind of saying, hey, I want to peak for Saturday, oh, by the way, it's Wednesday, not a whole heck of a lot you're going to be able to do. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. Peaking is a tough thing for you to do. There are some resources. PrimalATC.com is a great place to start. You can learn everything there. I'm going to put the link below. Just click on that. If you don't want to go to the camp, click around. We've got ebooks that teach you how to do this stuff. There are videos to work on your form. There are so many resources online on the Primal site. Make sure you check it out. Keep the questions coming. I know it's the end of the season, but we still got some great questions coming in. I'll be answering questions, especially off-season training and lifting stuff all summer. Keep asking the questions. I'll keep answering. And if there's anything else, guys, make sure to email me or leave a comment in the YouTube section down below. Talk to you soon.